how you doing? This is TVN School. Вивчаємо з тобою ми англійську. How are you? Що скажеш, коли ти зустрінеш якогось іноземця? So, let's speak English. Англійська мова Шекспіра та нью-йоркських таксистів. Англійська стане у нагоді вам, бойські дівчиська.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Leshko. It's time for an English lesson. Let's start. Today we continue talking about literature, books and reading. And we'll focus on libraries today. So look at the questions. How often do you visit libraries? What kind of libraries do you visit? And how are they useful to you? So think about these questions. I give you 20 seconds and let's discuss together. So, libraries. These are the places where you borrow books and you can read at home. Of course, you can have school libraries at your schools, but we also have public libraries. And there is a question. How often do you use libraries? Do you borrow books to read? For example, me personally, when I was a kid, I used to go to libraries every single week. And I borrowed a book and read it and then returned it back to the library. What about you? Let's go with the second one. What kind of libraries do you visit? So we have school libraries and we have public libraries. Do you visit them? Okay. And the last question, how are they useful to you? Of course, we can borrow some books to read, but we can also find some useful information for us. Back in the time when I was a kid, that was the only place where we could find information. So we visited libraries and we took the encyclopedias, we found the information, and then we were making our projects for school. That was the only way to get information. But nowadays, we have the internet. We don't have to go to the library and to borrow books to find information. We can simply Google it, right? But still, libraries are useful. Let's talk about English libraries. What kind of libraries do we have in the UK? And we'll start with the text. So have a look. This is the text for you. I would like you to read and listen carefully. Ready? Let's go.
Multi-purpose centres. Libraries in modern-day Britain are about a lot more than books. They are community hubs where people can, among other things, take their children to storytelling and singing sessions, view art, carry out online research and borrow maps for adventures in the UK. All you need to join your local library service is proof of your address, and most of the services are free. Small charges are made for extra services like the loan of audiovisual items such as DVDs, and the right to borrow more items than the normal 8 or so. There are also charges for reserving items which are on loan to another borrower, and for returning items to the library late.
So, as you see from the heading of this text, multi-purpose centres. So libraries are not only the place where you can borrow and return books. These are also places for storytelling and singing. So they are hubs. Let's have a look at the text. They are community hubs where people can, among other things, take their children to storytelling. So there is an author or a person or a teacher who read the story and the visitors can listen to the story. There are also singing sessions. So there is a singer, a popular singer, famous or just a regular singer who wants to sing a song and who sings the song in the library. So it can be like a mini concert hall. View art, again, they can be different exhibitions. So you can come, have a look at the different paintings, communicate, chat with others, and enjoy your time. Also, look at the sentence, carry out online research and borrow maps for adventures. Again, if you don't have the access to the computer, you don't have it at home, you can go to this center and continue with your online research. So, This text is full of nice vocabulary. So let's focus on the words. Let's check these words together. Have a look at the picture. The lady, it's not a real lady, right? Because she's got a lot of hands. Count, how many hands does she have? Yes, right, 8 hands. It's not possible in real life, but this picture represents the idea. Have a look at it. Having several purposes or functions. So you do not the only thing, or not the only one, purpose or a function, but many of them. And we call this word multi-purpose. Have a look, multi-purpose. Repeat after me, multi-purpose. Let's write this word on the board, multi-purpose. So as we have in the text, multi-purpose center. Let's move on. Look at the picture. I actually have a real object of it. Have a look, it was hiding under a book. Look at it. So, what's this? It's a USB connector, right? But we call it a hub. So, have a look at the definition. The central or main part of something where there is most activity. So, if we talk about multi-purpose centers, they are hubs. But if you talk about the computer, this is the hub for the computer. So you have one USB connector, you connect it to your laptop or your computer, and then you have extension entrances for your USB drives. Again, this word we call a hub. Repeat after me, a hub. So this is a computer hub, or we can have a school hub, the place where a lot of people can gather together and spend time together. So let's write this word down, a hub. Let's look at these two words again, multi-purpose and a hub. Here I do have an article, but with the word multi-purpose, I don't use any articles. What's the difference? What part of speech are these? So if we talk about the word a hub and I use an article, this is a noun, iменник. But the word multi-purpose is not a noun, it's an adjective. So, let's move on. One more word for you. Look at the picture. The picture says evidence. So, when we are looking for facts, for example, we are reading the text and I'm asking questions, I always ask you, prove it with the text. So, when you have the verb to prove, what is going to be a noun of this verb? Let's have a look at the definition. A fact or a piece of information that shows that something exists or it is true. So, we call the word a proof. Repeat after me, a proof. One more time. A proof. Well done. Let's write this word down. Again, you see an article. So what kind of speech is this? Yes, it's a noun. So I want you to prove your address, so there is a proof. Let's move on. Look at this picture. So there are two hands. One hand is empty and another hand is given money. So usually we use this, for example, listen to my situation. Today, unfortunately, I left my purse at home. I don't have any money with me, but I want to drink some water. So I'm asking you, can you borrow me some money so I can buy water? Let's look at the definition. An act of borrowing or lending something. We call it a loan. Repeat after me, a loan. Again, a loan. Well done. Let's write this word down. So, we can borrow some money, we can borrow a book, and we call this act a loan. And this is a noun. There is a very useful phrase, for example, to be on loan. Позичати щось. To be on loan. This is a nice phrase to be used. So now let's look at the text and find these words in the text. Let's go. We have the word multipurpose. Can you see it? Of course, this is easy. This is the heading of the text. Multipurpose centers. The place where you can do a lot of different things. Let's revise. We can borrow books, we can have storytelling sessions, we can have singing sessions, view art, carry out online research and borrow maps for adventures. So, let's move on. The next word is a hub. Can you find it in the text? Yes, this is sentence number 2. They are community hubs. Well done. A word, a proof. Try to find it in the text. So, bravo, it's here. All you need to join your local library service is proof of your address. So, you need to prove your address. It means that you need to show the documents with the place of living. Let's move on. The next one, a loan. Do we have this word in the text? Yes, small charges are made for extra services like the loan of audio-visual items such as DVDs. And there is also a phrase that is very useful for you. I told you, let's find it in the text. This is the last sentence. There are also charges for reserving items which are on loan to another borrower. Okay, to be on loan. We have it in the text, are on loan. Well done. Let's move on. I have more information for you ready. So let's go with the next text. It is called The Ultimate Public Library. Ready to read? Let's read and listen.
The Ultimate Public Library. The Library of Birmingham is one of the best examples of a modern, multi-purpose public library. The building, which opened in 2013, looks like a work of modern art and is the largest public library in the country. Some people visit it just for the views from the top, one of the highest points of the city. There is a studio theatre within the library which can welcome 300 people, and an outdoor performance space in the square outside it for music, drama, poetry, and storytelling performances in the summer. The library's archives include one of the most important collections of items relating to Shakespeare's work in the world. There is also a collection of children's books and games with objects that date back as far as the 16th century. These collections are not permanently open to the public, but items from them go on show in the library's gallery space. The library also regularly hosts photography and other art exhibitions, as well as talks and readings by successful writers.
Well done. Now, let's go with the words. Let's continue. So, look at the picture. What's this? It's a box full of folders, right? And usually we keep the information or the data in those folders. So, let's have a look at the definition. A collection of historical records related to a place, organization, or family. A collection of information, and since this information is historical records, so we call it archive. One more time, an archive. Repeat after me, an archive. Okay, let's write this word down. An archive. You see an article, it's not an article E, it's an article N. Remind me please, why do we write N? Because the word starts with the vowel sound. So, an archive. We can't say a archive. And, talking about the parts of speech, it's a noun. Well done. One more word for you. Have a look at the picture. This is not the play button, because play button usually face this way, and this button faces the other way around. So, this is the reference to a particular time in the past. Let's look at the climb. Let me draw it here. So, this is the time climb. This is now. And we have something in the past. past, back in times. So we usually say to reference a particular time in the past, we call this date back. Date back. To date back. One more time, repeat after me. Thank you. To date back. Let's write it down. What part of speech is this if we have a particle to? Bravo, this is a verb. Let's find this word in archive and to date back in the text. Probably you will find more words that we have discussed earlier. I give you 30 seconds, look through the text. Let's check. So from the first sentence, you have probably found the word multipurpose again, right? So let's read it. The Library of Birmingham is one of the best examples of a modern multi-purpose public library, right? Well done. Let's find the word an archive. The library's archives include one of the most important collection of items related to Shakespeare's work. This is fantastic. Let's find this word to date back. There is also a collection of children's books and games with objects that date back as far as 16th century. So it was long, long ago, many, many moons ago, in the 16th century. Let's move on. We have one more text for you. So not just paper books, let's talk about different books. Let's read and listen to the text.
Not just paper books. There are novels and non-fiction books to suit all tastes at British libraries. There are usually special sections for popular genres like crime, particular reader groups like teenagers, and books of local interest or by local authors. Libraries offer services for those with sight problems and those who simply want to listen to rather than read a book. Members have access to a wide range of audiobooks, which are available to borrow as MP3s. More and more libraries are also offering books to borrow in e-book form. With your library membership, you can access the latest issues of magazines electronically and free of charge via computers in the library building. Another service available is free access to websites you would have to pay for elsewhere, such as family history research sites. In fact, many people join their local library just for the internet access.
So, let's look at the text again. I really like the second sentence. There are usually special sections for popular genres, like crime, particular reader groups, like teenagers, and books of local interest, or by local authors. So, different genres. Let's revise. What kind of genres do you remember? Do you remember our first lessons on the topic literature? Okay. Science fiction, non-fiction, crime thriller books, well done. Romance. What else? Fantasy, classic novels, adventure stories, biography books. Well done, guys. Now, let's focus on one more word. Have a look at the picture. What's this? It doesn't look like a book. I do have it here as well. Look. It's not a book, it's very thin, so we call it a magazine, right? And usually when we talk about magazines, we have different what? What do we call them? Ми кажемо українською мовою різні номери. Номер 1 журналу, номер 2, номер 3. What do we call these in English? Have a look at the definition. A single copy of a newspaper or a magazine we call an issue. So repeat after me, an issue. One more time, an issue. Perfect. Let's write this down. An issue. Again, pay attention to the article. N, because we have vowel sound. An issue. And what part of speech is this? Bravo, a noun. Now let's look at the text. Do you have this word in the text? Can you find it? Well done. Let's read. With your library membership, you can access the latest issues of magazines electronically. And so according to the text, not just paper books, we also can read e-books, right? Or MP3 books, audiobooks. So which one do you prefer? A paper book or a magazine? Or an electronic version, like an audiobook or an e-book? I love using paper books. I love the smell, I told you. But if you travel and you don't have enough space in your suitcase, probably it's better to download the e-book or an audiobook. Well done. Now there is the last text for you, I promise. Today, a lot of reading. So let's start. The self-service era. So I like the idea of self-service. Usually, I have this at the supermarket. When I go to the supermarket with my own kids, we usually go to the self-service section, where you can scan the food yourself, take your food, take your items, pay for it by card, and then you leave the supermarket. You can do this at the library as well. So let's read the text about it.
The self-service era. In the past, the main tasks of library staff were registering borrowers' loans and taking items back from them. Nowadays, library visitors use self-service points to borrow and return items. The machine scan uses membership cards and then the items they wish to borrow or return. The standard loan period for a book is 4 weeks, but loans can usually be renewed. Many libraries offer a telephone renewal service which is automated and open 24 hours a day. Most British library services also allow members to renew their loans online. You can renew a book you have borrowed without visiting the library in person as long as no one else has reserved it. Thanks to online catalogues, you can now check whether an item you're interested in is available or on loan before leaving home.
So, as you see, you can easily go to self-service points and take a book or return it to the library. So, if you look at the picture, the self-service points look like this. This is like ATM machine. You just go there, you enter your membership number, you borrow a book, you choose from the online catalog the book you want, then you take it or you return it. This is very easy to use and it also saves you time. Now, guys, there is a task for you. So, look please. I have 5 sentences and we need to finish them according to the text. So I give you 30 seconds, think about the information that we need to fill in, and then we're going to check together. Now let's check. So the first sentence, you can join a library in Britain if you provide, yes, proof of your address. So let's read again. You can join a library in Britain if you provide proof of your address. Number 2, returning an item, late results, bravo, in a charge. So a charge means that you need to pay extra. And let's go. Returning an item late results in a charge. Вам потрібно сплатити пеню. Number 3. Well-known writers give at Birmingham Library. Talks. Well-known writers give talks at Birmingham libraries. Different talks. This can be presentations, different sessions, storytelling sessions, and so on and so forth. Number 4. People who can't see well can borrow from British libraries. What can they borrow? Bravo. Audiobooks. Let's read the sentence together. People who can't see well can borrow audiobooks from British libraries. And the last one. British people can use to find out what is available to borrow from their libraries. What is the correct word? Yes, online catalogues. Let's read again. British people can use online catalogues to find out what is available to borrow from their libraries. And now there is one more task for you guys. Have a look. We have the words hubs, automated, section, genres, proof, and issue. And we have 6 sentences. I give you 40 seconds. Think about the words, the places that you would like to put them in, and then we're going to check together. While you're writing your answers in your notebooks, I'm going to write my answers on the board. And then we're going to check together. Ready? Let's go. Okay, these are my answers, so let's check together. Look, are they the same or different? No, right. So number 3, there shouldn't be genres, there should be issues. So this is the correct. Now, let's read the sentences. You can use your phone or electricity bill as proof of where you live. Let's move on. Number 2, libraries and youth centers are hubs where young people meet and socialize. Number 3, I missed last month's issue of my favorite magazine. Number 4, I'm not sure which section to look in for a book on Spanish cookery. And number 5, adventure novels and fantasy fiction are 2 popular genres in young adult literature. And the last one, you don't need to speak to anyone at the library to borrow a book. There is an automated system. Well done. So, let's move on. Think, what would you like to be able to do at public libraries in your area? How should they change? Tell this to the class when you're going to be with your teachers during your online lesson. For example, for me, the public libraries can be used like hubs where you can socialize with different friends, students, authors, or people. You can have even parties there. And now it's time for your homework. Look, your English-speaking friend is doing a school project on libraries around the world. And he has asked for your help. Send your friend an email about an important library in your country. Include information on location, size, age, services, and why it is important. Think about any libraries that you have. If you don't have anything in your mind, go online and make a research. And then we're going to discuss it later. Next lesson, we continue talking about libraries. So, there is a bell and it means that we need to stop the lesson. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye-bye.